One of the fears that comes up when we try something new, whether it's applying for a new job or opening ourselves up to a new relationship, is that we could get disappointed. Disappointment is almost inevitable when we put ourselves out there in the world, when we try new things, when we go for what we want. But the amount of pain we can experience from it can vary greatly. The feeling of disappointment is usually the greatest when we try for something we want more than anything, or when we had to be really vulnerable to pursue it. So think about opening your heart for love for the first time in years or maybe ever, and then getting rejected, or finally finding the courage to apply for your dream job and then not getting it. Disappointment can easily lead to feeling defeated and giving up and not wanting to get hurt again and just never trying again and settling with, okay, it's just never going to happen. But in this case, not getting hurt again would also mean not going for what's really important to you and missing out on the great joy and happiness that it could bring you. So this recording is really about trying again after being disappointed and acknowledging how scary and painful that can be, but also allowing yourself to continue anyway and to give yourself a new try at something that you really, really desire. I think a very first important step is to really acknowledge and allow the feeling of disappointment. And you might feel like if you give in to the disappointment that you'll never try again, that will discourage you from trying again. But really the opposite is usually true. Because only by healing a broken heart will you be able to open up to love again. And the same goes for your other dreams and goals. Acknowledging that you felt hurt and allowing yourself the time you need to process your feelings is the only way to move past the hurt at some point. Your feelings are valid and you're allowed to be hurt. Really give yourself the time to experience your disappointment, because that's the only way to keep your heart open and to eventually be willing to try again. Once you've given yourself enough time to really acknowledge the disappointment and to really process the feelings that come with that, it can be good to ask yourself if your expectations were realistic in this case. Disappointment is inevitable in life, or it almost is, but setting realistic expectations can make a real difference in the intensity of it. So when the initial pain is gone, can you see what you learned from the situation and what helped you move forward? And can you look at the situation you want again and see what could be a realistic step next time? Going for big dreams is so great and so brave and so, incredible. And, you shouldn't settle for something that's maybe in the middle of it. But I think when you're taking steps, it can be really good at, was it realistic to expect your first attempt at love to be right? And, obviously that works for some people, but usually it doesn't. So setting some realistic expectations in terms of time, in terms of, the steps you can take can really help you moving forward. And then, can you really see the courage that it took you to try in the first place? Like trying something new or going for something you really want takes a lot of courage and vulnerability. And regardless of the outcome, can you give yourself credit for trying, for doing something that may have felt scary, that was out there, that was uncomfortable, that allowed you to be vulnerable? And can you see that regardless of the outcome that you can't always control, you did take action and that there's some magic in that? And can you really give yourself credit for putting yourself out there? Because that's so important. And then now that you've processed the feelings and you've looked at your expectations and acknowledged your courage, can you get back to the desire? Why did you do the brave, scary thing in the first place? Why is it important to you? And what would it be like if you succeeded? What would happen if you did find love or if you did get your dream job? And I think getting back in touch with the desire is really the fuel for taking action again. Allow yourself to dream again and to be like, what is it you wanted? It can be really easy to get caught up in the disappointment or the pain from it not working out the first time. But obviously, you started all of this because it means something to you, because it's important. And getting back in touch with that desire can really help you motivate yourself to get out there again. And so then when you've gotten back to desire, it can be really, really beneficial to take a baby step again. Like, what is a teeny tiny step you could take again towards what you want? It should not feel overwhelmingly scary, but it can be a little bit uncomfortable. I think putting yourself back out there, no matter how small the first step might be, is the only way to move towards what you desire. And it can also really get you out of that state of feeling disappointment and back into trying again. But once again, I think the first step is very important here, and really allow yourself enough time to be disappointed, to feel the pain that the rejection or, something not working out like you wanted to felt. I think that's really, really, really the big first step, and everything else can kind of follow from there. Processing the disappointment means that there's space again to really try again, to go out there again, to make another move, to get back into desire. So everything kind of comes from that first step. So while disappointment might be an inevitable part of life and an inevitable part of going after what you want for yourself, there are things you can do to really not let yourself get stuck in it and to move past it, get out there again and try again, because you deserve to go after what you want and you deserve to get there. I hope that helps. If you want to share your experiences with disappointment with me, feel free to send me a message. I would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day.